Hey everybody, it's Sean Ashcraft here again with another training video for Aquawizard because we need another training video. We will be looking at the website today, how to hack the Aquawizard.band website. So come along with me while we use a basic WordPress website. Yay! So today I'm just gonna just talk about how to navigate the website and what goes where and all that fun stuff. So this is like a low DIY sort of hosted server thingy. So that's fun. I have a different login than the usual login. So the default login for most WordPress instances is just you go to whatever the website is, and then you go to /wp admin, and it'll usually take you to the login page. I've saved the credentials to get in somewhere else, so if you're watching this and you know how to get to those credentials, then you know how to get into the website. But otherwise, tried to make that a little obscure, I guess. Whatever. So once you get logged in, I just have one user, the Aquawizard user. So that's the one to use. The one to use. Not a joke. I'm not funny at all. And then once you get logged in, it'll go to the dashboard. And the dashboard is where, I guess, let me kind of talk about how WordPress is kind of put together, usually. So the original idea with WordPress is like, here's a blog, but it's also a website thingy. So the two basic things in WordPress are posts, and a post is sort of like what you would put in a blog. Like, here's my post for my blog. And then the other thing that is in a WordPress is the page, or the pages. Sorry. The page, the one page. So pages are what they sound like in a typical website. You just have a whole bunch of web pages, and you just go from one. They're hyperlinked, and that's what the World Wide Web is. So those are the two basic things. The way they manifest is you can change the default behavior of your homepage, but the way I have it set up is just show all posts or blog posts or whatever you want to call them, and that's what they are, and have a little menu, and they have like little WordPress does a bunch of modules for stuff, but have a menu of our pages. Some of our pages are, for example, a category, and that's how I built the Aquawizard cast. It's just a bunch of posts, but this post is in the Aquawizard cast category. So technically, the Aquawizard cast category is the Aquawizard cast, but this is a page to land for the. So the more you talk about websites, the more you just kind of start talking in circles about all the different things. So that's why I just want to get the basics of WordPress is basically posts and pages. That's basically it. You can have media on your blog. So, for example, I uploaded Brad's awesome poster, and I put that on a shows page so that we'd have a fun page about here's the shows that are coming up, and here's the shows we've played, and all that good stuff. So that's fun. The media library is where you go to kind of organize all the media. So that's pretty sweet. And you can put, so like if I wanted to make a new post, or if I wanted to go in and edit a post, here's a post I made for our album. It'll open up the editor. And the editor, I'll just get all the things open here. Here's a rendering of the post itself, minus all of the website stuff. It's just the post part. And then this part over here shows you kind of the the outline of what this post is made of, and it's basically just a few paragraphs of stuff. That's all it really is. This thing down here is kind of this annoying feature from this company, Blueberry, makes a plugin that makes it a lot easier to make podcast episodes out of blog posts. So that's the reason why this is here. If you don't want this, you can just kind of, if you don't want to worry about the podcast, just kind of ignore that. That'll give you some editing space. And then over here on the right are sort of like attributes for either the thing you have selected, which are WordPress breaks up into what are called blocks. So over here on the left is a list of all the blocks, and then here are properties for that block. Or you can change properties for the entire post. Like here's a featured image, which is our album cover, and then here's a little summary of what this post is about. And then, like I was talking about earlier, different posts can be put in different categories. So if I wanted to make an Aquawizard Cast episode, I would need to put it in the Aquawizard Cast category, and I would want to associate the podcast media using Blueberry down here. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about that today because I'm kind of the podcast guy that does all that. And then down here, we have different other things like statistics. I just turned the statistics on yesterday, so there's going to be 0 statistics, basically. But, yeah, that's the post and page editor. You can kind of preview it, I guess, or you can change how it appears, preview in a new tab. That way you can take a look at how it's going to render on the page. So here's it's got all the normal header stuff. While you're logged into WordPress, you'll have this handy-dandy toolbar for the website. That's kind of nice. And to get back to the thing, just go to Aquawizard the band, go to Dashboard. You may or may not see this My Sites thing. The only thing should be there is Aquawizard. You just kind of ignore that. If you don't want to save changes, honestly, you can just close it. And it'll save it as a draft, probably. Or you can delete. I forget how to just delete draft. There's a button for everything. Coffee break. This is coffee and cigarettes, after all. Coffee and cats. Sorry, I misspoke. It's a good thing I didn't really say what all is going on at the beginning, because I'm not. This is just a free form. We're just riffing on website stuff, because why not? So I went over the basics. You got your posts, you got pages, you got your different kinds of media. Here's some more settings. Another aspect of WordPress is there's users, and there's also plugins, and then there's this theme editor. So let me kind of just briefly overview, and then there's like website settings, tools and settings and stuff. So brief overview, this is where you can edit the look and feel of the website. I just finally changed the colors. I've got a note on making sure to save the changes later. Plugins are something that I can add as a network administrator for this. I host like a couple sites on the server that serves this. So, yeah, we could turn these on. I'm thinking about turning on this one where, what am I trying to say? Oh, it automatically makes like a privacy cookie consent thing. That way people are aware that like any website you visit, it automatically downloads cookies. And it's just kind of nice to know that it does that. So WordPress does the same thing. So this plugin just makes it easier to make like it just automatically generates like, based on the stuff that's on your website, here's all the stuff that could go on your privacy policy page and whatever. Just automate that stuff rather than have to think about it. Like why? Anyway, this is what the plugins do. They extend the basic functionality of WordPress so that you can do other stuff. Media sync is the thing I used to recover the server. I had the server crash a few weeks ago, and I decided to rebuild it so that it's all in like a new version of everything, so that it's like, I don't know, secure or whatever. Media sync was a thing I used to import our media just by moving the files over on the server, and then telling WordPress like, hey, these are the same files that were supposed to be here already. So that was actually super handy. That was a good plugin. If we want a better like, hey, events calendar, even for like band practices and stuff, I don't know, we could play around with this plugin. And then this WordPress importer I used as another. That's how I import. WordPress is basically Apache running with PHP, and then so that's like the code base that does the network blah 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 code stuff, and then the actual data is stored with the data is stored, and then it's organized with a database. What was I going to say? When I did the recovery of the website, I kind of decided, all right, the database is maybe a little bit beyond my skill level to get that to sync up with a brand new website. I'm like, I don't know how to like, here's a new version of all the stuff. I hope it works with this old database for the old version of the website. I was like, I'm not going to bother with that. I imported all of the posts, imported all of the media, and then the new version of the website developed the database around that. So now you know. Let's talk about users. It's just 2 users so far. Doesn't have to be complicated. We could add users that have different logins, and they can have different administrative levels, but I'm not going to bother with that. There's different tools for backing up the website, which I should probably do pretty soon. Different settings, like just what's shown on all the websites, who's the administrator. I thought it'd be fun to have the week start on Monday, but that really doesn't matter. It could start on Sunday. Let's see. PowerPress is the plugin that I'm using to create the Aquawizard cast, and it's a little confusing because when you jump right into it, there's nothing here because I don't want to create our podcast based on our main posts feed of just our posts. The way I decided to do it was category podcasting, where you select a category to be a podcast, and then you go to this guy, and then this is the podcast settings for this. So this goes into the nitty-gritty details of like, all right, what are the Apple tags? What's your artwork officially? What's the name of your... And then it generates a feed that you can plug into different places. So our official RSS feed is actually not the one that's off of this website. It's off of FeedBurner, which is Google's feed service, and that just makes the traffic to my website a little bit more chill. Because if we tell everybody on the public, like, hey, our podcast is actually... Where is it? It's not even in here correctly, but anyway. We tell everybody, like, hey, our real podcast feed is... I thought you put it in here somewhere. Whatever. Who cares? That way all of the, like, spam traffic, Google takes care of that. And sure, maybe Google gets our analytics and whatever, but I don't really care. Login security. This is just some other stuff I thought would be fun. Statistics. I just installed this plugin a few days ago, so I guess we've had a few visitors, but I don't know how it, maybe that was just me checking things. Maybe somebody was on I don't know. Who knows? Maybe somebody was checking our website last night. So, but yeah, that's it. Pretty much. Currently on the main menu, let me show you the theme editor, edit site. You can go to it there, or if that's confusing, let me just go back. If you're like in the dashboard, you can go to Appearance. I always forget it's called Appearance over here. And then you can go to Themes or Editor. If you hit the Editor button, it's the same as the Customize. I always go here and I'm like, man, I do not remember these buttons, but different names for the same thing, I guess. So when you get into here, this is like the overall website editor. It lets you edit the landing page. And then it also lets you it's sort of like if you don't know how websites work, it's meant to kind of make it easy. I like to open up the list because that makes it easier to see. Like, I'm editing the footer now. I'm editing the header now. I am going to open the header and look at this group, and or you can just click on it, and it'll show you in here. Here's the header menu. It's in this row. Blah blah blah. So, as somebody personally who tried to learn website edit coding, and I just never quite got it. I like this because it's a little bit like it's website editing, how you have the the margins and whatever all that stuff's called, but they simplify it for you. But anyway, if you want to edit this header menu, you can go here, and then you edit the block. When you edit the block, it'll save this as sort of like a template, so that anytime the header menu is pulled up on the website, it should stick. So I think I have the header menu in the footer somewhere. It's probably one of these rows. I don't know. It's header. Yeah. So if I edit this header menu, because it gets called here again, that will be updated. So way down at the bottom of the page, this should automatically update because it's the same menu as the one that's up here. And I don't know how they do it, but there's some sort of magic in here that when you switch to mobile view, it turns into one of these mobile menus. It just does it automatically. I don't know where they programmed that to do that, but so anyway, if you want to goof around with the style or whatever of Aquawizard, you can go in here and directly edit stuff. And I didn't make any changes, so at least I don't think I did. Usually there's a little thing up here saying save. You can switch to dark. Oh, I don't know what this is. Let me get out of here. I don't know, man. Let's go back over here. So that's editing stuff. There's another menu over here. Navigation. Here's another way that you can go in and edit the header menu. Pages. It's another way to do it. Templates. Patterns. Okay, so yeah, it gets saved as a pattern, and then that's, yeah. The thing I wanted to kind of wrap up with is the styles thing. You can go in here, and this will change the styles for the whole website. So I just use the default typography because it's readable. Some of them are a little less readable. But you can change that, and then you can also change colors. You can edit the palette over here. It's pretty basic palette selection. You can put in the hex code if we have a very specific color. I'm too lazy to do that. I just kind of eyeballed it, to be honest. My bad. But yeah, there's different things that you can customize in here. When you make a change, there will be a little thing over here that's like, you have a revision. Do you want to do this? So I guess this is the last revision that I made. So whatever. Just close. Get out of here. Go back. Go back. But yeah, all that to say, make sure you save it if you want to actually have the changes stick. So I don't think there's really much else to mention. Settings, there's Just pages. I was thinking it might be fun to have like a little maze of pages. And one thing that you can do with pages is, let's say I wanted to have a video category or like a video page, but I wanted it to be like a sub page of something else. Like, I don't know. You can have what's called a parent page, and you can stack these. So like maybe this is part of our videos, part of our EPK. So the parent of the video page is EPK. Right now it's a draft, so it doesn't really matter. But if I refresh this, now video gets organized underneath EPK because this is the parent page. There's other things you can do with this. So like I was thinking it'd be fun to have like a choose your own adventure sort of Easter egg thing. If you're watching this far in the video, you are a huge Aquawizard nerd and fan, I guess, or you're just part of the band. But anyway, there might be a fun Easter egg idea that we put together on the website as like a fun way to like, I don't know, listen to like demo versions of our old music. But I was thinking we could piece it together and kind of hide it from the main page using this parent page system here. So, but that requires some effort, I guess, and some planning. You might be wondering what these extra things up here, like clear the cache. I'm just goofing around with this stuff, to be honest. If you go to a page and it's being weird, you can try clearing the cache. Although honestly, I don't know. Do we need this? Probably not. But anyway, I think that's about it. Switch my camera back over here. And final thoughts? Not really. Thanks for watching.